Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Okay, so I chose a different type of music because I think this is a little bit more. I don't want to say it's more serious, but I think it's a little bit deeper. Okay. Okay, so let's talk. All right. So first of all, how I want to start this out is I want to say that I absolutely respect the journey that you're on. And I want to start that out by telling you that yes, you are on a journey. It is a journey through the universe. It's a journey through your heart, and it's a journey through your soul. Okay? So I know in a lot of the videos I come across is, I don't want to say a hard ass or a badass, but it's just tough and saying, hey, this is tough love, okay? Because a lot of you have to become the mama bear. You have to become the papa bear. It's time. Part of being a full, complete human is being the adult, the parent, and the child. You have to learn to rotate between the three of those. And one of the things light workers and empaths, etc., that we don't develop is the tough side, like especially socially and dealing with other people. So this video is going to be an amalgamation of things. So let me throw two of them out there. Number one, what we're going to talk about, why is it that some people just don't understand things that we're very, very highly aware of. Not only highly aware of, but we've sensed it since we were children, but now we're very like, wow, this is absolutely real. And I'll explain why some people they don't see it, they don't hear it, they don't get it at all. The other thing I'm going to talk about is, again, this is going to be kind of vague. This journey that we are on. Why are we here? Why are we going through this? Okay, so this is going to be kind of roundabout video, so hopefully it won't be too long though. Okay, all right. So I'm actually gonna throw the first piece in I had mentioned about the parent, the adult, and the child, and being able to freely switch between all three of those, because that's what a very balanced and healthy human being is. And that's why you guys are going through this phase right now, going through this narcissist thing and learning about it, like, what's this all about? Well, so you're really good at being the child, and this is a good thing. It's why you guys are healers. It's like Jesus says, oh God, what did he say? I put it in a video before this, but something of the effect, I tell you the truth, if you do not become like this child, you will never enter I don't remember the words, so I'm going to make it up, but enter the gateways of heaven, or enter heaven, something like that. So the child brain is really the right brain. It's this fun, playful, very creative, emotional space, and it is why you can heal people. Without that, you never would be able to heal yourself or others. So I talked to, this was a long time ago. I don't even know why I went. It's probably one of those meant to be. My younger sister, out of the blue, was like, oh, you got to go meet the psychologist. I'm like, why? Just like out of the blue, I wasn't having problems. Nothing was wrong. And she goes, Michael, just trust me. This guy's great. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I went and met him. And the guy just, for some reason, brought up, and he goes, well, why are you here? I'm like, I don't know. My sister told me to come and see you. He goes, oh, okay. So for some reason, she probably said something, because I was a very, very serious person back then. That's probably what it was. She probably told me. I mean, I was real focused, like overly focused. So part of this journey you're on is, and I'll explain later, but you actually came here for a couple real purposes, learnings, and experiences. And they're different than other people, okay? So we don't all have the same experiences or learnings, okay? Or reasons to be here on this planet, this plane of existence, okay? So for sure, one of the things you're learning how to do, it's like on the one hand, you're this really good person, you're a spiritual being, you're a very caring, heartfelt person, okay, compassionate and loving, and you genuinely care about other people, your fellow man, your fellow mankind, etc. And So you're a good person. The challenge is you just never wanted to hurt anyone in any way, shape, or form. You're just like, I don't want to do that. And so instead of because look, all your life people have told you, you've got to learn how to defend yourself. You got to learn how to stand up for yourself. You got to speak up. I mean, you've heard that your whole life. Why? Because you never did. You know, and the other thing is really just to stop falling for the games that they play, to just grow up and just be like, no, I'm going to be the parent here. See, the parent, okay, look, that's the mama bear and the papa bear. The parent will do whatever the hell they have to do to keep their children safe. Period. End of sentence. The bear in them will come out. So this is the side that you are developing right now, and you're going through the fire. You don't like it. It's not part of your nature. It's not something you want to do. And you're, a lot of you, it's kind of a combination of things. It's like, okay, watch this. On the one hand, you've lived your whole life because you were taught this belief by a narcissist. Well, it's either or. You're either a healer and a nice person, or you're a bad person and you're tough. No, that's the bullshit. So part of it's a lie. Because one of the reasons why you guys came to my channel and really, what's the word? I don't. This isn't the right word, but you resonated with it. Yeah, like you're attracted to it, drawn to it, is because I'm saying, hey, it's okay to stand up. It's okay to fight back. It's okay to tell them that they're bad, that they're this, that they're that. So a lot of you, there was an inner feeling like something doesn't feel right when people tell me just to walk away quietly. And you know, the message I've been sending almost on every video of, you know, just don't disturb the narcissist, back away slowly, you know, slowly, that whole bullshit, right? So on this journey in this lifetime, one of the lessons you're learning to do is how to be the parent. Now, as this psychologist said, like, you know, it's like there's these three chairs. Like it's called a swinging Susie. Okay, it was a chair, a playground toy where there's 3 seats, and you can, with your feet, you and your friends could go left or right and swing in a circle either way. Okay, so most people, it's stuck. It's either stuck on child mode, parent mode, or sometimes it's stuck between child and adult, or adult and parent, where you're just overly serious, or the other end where you're just overly, you know, fun and playful, and you don't want to take any responsibilities. So the beauty of really being a true adult is when you can swing between all 3 of those, and that is a healthy, balanced human being. There's a time to be playful. There's a time to let the inner child out and play. But then there's the adult you that has to protect the inner child. Then there's the parent you that has to get the job done. So the parent's the one that says, hey, you got to do this. You got to get this work done. You got to get up and go to work. You got to get this thing done. Where the adult you say, hey, I've got to do these tough things, okay? And the child you is like the creative, playful being. All right, so the next thing, okay, is a lot of you are listening to my videos and other videos and learning. And here's the reason why: because you don't want to go back down there. You're like, I don't want to get caught up in that trap again, okay? So I'm going to say something, and then I'm going to give you a description, okay, a painting, a picture, so to speak. So the first thing is, don't. Then don't go back down there. Just don't do it anymore, period. There is no good that you can do by going back there. Now, do you guys remember the video that I talked about the crabs in the bucket, where there's a bunch of crabs down there and one of them finally gets his claw over the top rim and starts to pull himself out? The crab right beneath him grabs his leg and pulls him back down. Well, you escaped. You got the hell out. And that's why you're listening to my videos, because you're like, I don't ever want to go back through that again. Then learn your lessons. The number one lesson when it comes to dealing with anyone, and this is the number one red flag, is feeling sorry for them. See, that's how they get you to open up. That's how they get their hooks in you. So here's the number one red flag. I'm not saying you can't feel sorry for someone that you've known for years and they got hurt or something bad happened, but when you meet someone that you don't know and you already feel sorry for them, I am telling you, That is part of their game. That is the first tool they pull out of the box to get you to feel sorry for them, so you'll talk to them, so you'll spend time with them, so you'll fall for their games. If you start feeling sorry for someone, I'm telling you, that's the bucket, Colin. I am telling you, that's the bucket. Don't go down there, because you can't help them. They don't want help. They don't want to come out of the bucket, and that's what you don't understand. What they want to do is they want to pull you out of your happy reality and down into their hell. Learn to say no. Be vicious about it. Be strong. Your cutoff game has to be good, and it has to be solid, meaning, the minute you realize someone's a narcissist, boom, bye, see ya, peace out. I just got rid of someone last week, said, hey, don't ever call me again. I don't want to talk to you again. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. They will never change. They can't change. They're not gonna change. It's like, honestly, it's like asking a dog to fly. It's like you're asking a ridiculous question. They can't. Alright, so here's what I mean. This is probably what the core of this video is about. Okay. Have you ever had the discussion with someone who says they're an atheist and they don't believe in God and they don't believe in faith or energy healing or whatever, right? And you're just like, a lot of you that are on this channel, you went through some deep spiritual stuff. You know beyond a shadow of doubt. You've had experiences since you were a child that you are highly aware of. That makes you absolutely sure. Like, yeah, I know. Like, you, especially the last 3 years. Like, whoa, what the hell is going on? Are we in the Book of Revelations? A lot of people are like, yeah, hell yeah, we're in the Book of Revelations. We are going through the end of times, meaning we're shifting to a new time. Things are shifting, and it's not comfortable at all. All right, so this is going to help you to deal with a situation you bump into all the time. So you run into people who tell you like, you're just weird. You believe in the Bible. You believe in God. That's not real. That's just fantasy stuff. That's fantasy island, right? Now you can tell some of them are bullshitting you. Like, okay, I had this guy pull that on me. This guy that worked at this store, and he said, that's all. I think he literally said fairy tales, and he said, so you believe that God is like a Santa Claus, like a white man with a big white beard and a belly up in heaven looking down on us? And I went, what are you talking about? He goes, well, isn't that what the Bible said? And I was like, no. Where does it say? And the thing, he said it with such authority. I said, where? Now, because I've read the Bible from beginning to end 13 times, not to mention all the Bible studies and the passages we read in church and Bible class, and so I'm thinking, like, and I go, where does it say that? And he goes, well, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? Because he had been throwing this stuff at me for a while. So here's the deal. He goes, well, I don't know. I go, what do you mean you don't know? I go, you sound like you've read the Bible a lot. He goes, no, I've never read the Bible because I don't believe in it. I go, wait a minute. So you're sitting there telling me all this stuff about the Bible with authority? And now you're saying you've never read the Bible? Like, wait, what? So I told him, I go, in the Bible, it literally, like, Noah, was it Moses or Noah? God, I'm sorry getting mixed up right now. I'm kind of tired. So that God had said to them, like, put your face into this crevice of this mountainside of this, like, stony rock, and I'll pass behind you, like, miles and miles away. And because God's like an energy, the energy is so powerful. He said, "I'll kill you. It'll kill you if you look at me." So it doesn't say God's some white man or white Santa Claus up in heaven looking down on us with a big beard and a big belly. So then what happened a few days later? He started quoting the Bible about how we are Babylon, like this country's Babylon, Babylon, and how we're going to be destroyed. And I'm kind of looking at this guy like, so you have read the Bible? No. And so here's the deal. Now this is my point. There are multiple beings, okay? So the first three are the ones I'm talking about right now. There are demons, and then there are non-humans. Then there's us, humans. God loves humans. So then there's angels and God. So I'm not going to go any more depth in that. And I'm going to talk about the first 3 in this video. Now, so a lot of you probably dealt with non-humans not even realizing it, okay? These are the beings that have no soul, they have no spirit. They're just kind of walking around empty inside. And I told you guys that one experience I had with that person where I like literally saw inside them. I was like, whoa, what in the hell is this? It was a really weird, I'm not even going to talk about it right now, but there was nothing inside. And so I was watching all these videos on YouTube, people would call them empty meat bags walking around. And I was like, wait a minute. And I explained, what that experience I had. They're like, yeah, that's what we're talking about. I was like, holy shit. All right, so when you're dealing with a NPC, non-player character versus the real people, these are the empty beings. These are the, I guess, non-humans is what, a lot of people call them. Is they don't, okay. Now what this is the one thing that's going to help you to stop arguing with people or even having discussions, because it's just going to drain you, exhaust you, and it's going to piss you off or upset you or just frustrate you. What I'm trying to say, and I'm going to explain a little more, is we are different, all of us, okay? There's different beings on this planet, okay? So with these non-humans that are empty inside, they don't have a soul. So when you're talking about spirit and soul and God, they're just looking at you like, wow, what a weirdo, what an idiot. There's no, you live and you die, and that's it, man. What you have to understand is that's the way they experience the world, the universe, and life. It's not like they're hiding from something or they're lying to themselves. It's like, I don't know, I can't think of a real good example, but let's say that you can see birds, but they can't. And you're saying, isn't that a beautiful bird? And they're looking at you like, wow, you're a nut job. A bird? What's a bird? Oh, it's got wings. And they're like, what's a wing? It's got feathers. Like, what are feathers? And you're like, what are you talking about? What's wrong? And you sit there and have this damn argument with this being, this species, this creature that they can't see it, they can't hear it, they can't feel it. It's not part of their existence. These are the empty vessels that the Bible talks about that are walking around, that the serpents and the demons go into. So yeah, they essentially, these become narcissists. They become demon possessed. And this is why they don't make any sense, because it's like they don't have a right brain. It's there, but they don't really use it. So if you're trying to argue with these beings about existential stuff such as God, spirit, angels, soul, it's a waste of time. And I'm not even being disrespectful to them. I'm kind of looking at you like, why would you argue with something that has no idea what you're talking about? They've never experienced it. They have no, sure, they hear people talk about it, but they think it's bullshit because they have no connection to it. It's like it's not in them, period. So now we have demons, okay? Well, demons are pissed off, and here's why. Demons were basically God's, I don't know, I forget the word for it, but they were like people, basically, okay? They were the beings that God created to inhabit the earth. What happened is, well, they did their own revolution or whatever against God, and God's like, oh yeah, well, screw you. So they're all locked down there in hell, and they're stuck, and they're pissed off. But here's the thing is, they're trying to hurt God, and they're doing it by hurting us because they know that God loves us. So we're kind of stuck in between God and them right now. And for those of us who are waking up and are very spiritual and very connected to God and really seeing this, that we're the ones they're going after. But don't freak out about that, because you're getting yourself out of this thing, and there is an end game to all this. It's essentially just not going back in the bucket, not feeling sorry for these creatures and going, oh, I'm going to help you. Okay, like for the NPCs, the people that are non-humans that are walking around they have a human body, but they're just walking around without a spirit. You can't help them. There's nothing to be helped. I really don't know how to explain that. There's that's it. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here's the deal. Like, someone said this on another channel, on a YouTube video, because there was a girl that was saying, oh, well, I just feel like when we talk this way about them that we're looking down on them. I forget what they said, but it wasn't a bad thing, though. Someone's just making a statement like they don't have a soul and they're empty inside. It wasn't a judgment. It wasn't like, oh, they're less than. And this guy, she said, because she goes, I think that's just wrong to look down on them like that, because I see them as younger spirits that just haven't grown yet. And another guy that came on that's more educated, at least in the Bible, said, no, you don't understand. It's not, I forget the verse and what he quoted, but he said, like, a non-human cannot become a human, and a human cannot become a non-human. That's not the way it works. Like, you can't be one and then become the other. That's not I don't know how to explain it. It's not a possibility. Honestly, it's like telling your dog to fly. It's never going to grow wings. It's never going to flap its wings and fly around like a bird. It's just not going to do it, okay? So when you come across to one of these beings or entities or whatever you want to call it, creatures, is you just look at it and be like, well, you're a cat, you're a dog. It's, yeah, okay, like okay, for example, do you walk up to your dog and say, man, you really need to learn English, we're going to send you to English class? No, because it's a dog. So here you are spending all this time, and the only thing that they can do is bring you down into their world, down to their level. They're at a very low energy level, resonating vibrational level, and it's horrible. You can't stand the energy, so you have to listen to your body. When you feel this, oh, this doesn't feel good, then leave. Alright, so the reason why I chose this cat when I saw it is because, you know, a lot of you left messages like, man, their eyes, like, they went pure black. Well, here's what happens. See this cat? I'm not going to describe, I may make another video to describe it, but it essentially goes into that part of their brain where they're just, and it opens their pupils all the way up. So essentially the non-humans are generally, they're just empty, and there's an emptiness to them. Now, generally, people that are non-humans, though, they do get taken over by a demon, for sure. But here's the thing, the demon is not always in them, and so what I saw was, I looked into this person's body, and like, there was like nothing in there. It was just empty, and it was just weird. And then there was like this emptiness that went all the way down into the earth, like a tunnel about the size of a manhole for the street, you know, where they go down to the water below. So I guess about 3 feet wide by 3 feet, etc. And it went all the way down, and there was like an evil spirit way down there, and it scared the living crap out of me. You know, I realized I was actually sneaking up on the demon without realizing. I probably could have done a sneak attack. So, being funny, but kind of serious. So here's the deal, though. The demon will come back and come into them. So now, watch this. When you dealt with your narcissist, was it like some days or moments they were just kind of this almost innocent, empty vessel that just really didn't know what was going on, couldn't make connections? And then there was times when they were like that cat, when they were fully enraged. It was like a different being. Well, it was. You're dealing with two different beings. I almost said two different people or two different humans, but it's not. These are two different beings, non-human with a demon in them, or a demon that comes up from the hole and then takes over and basically runs them around like a puppet. So regardless of which one you're dealing with, you're wasting your time. They're not going to change. They're not going to become spiritual. They're never going to accept God. The non-human is never going to have an experience of God. They're just like, they don't have the wires or the plug-ins or the Ethernet like we do. They don't have that connection. They don't have that spirit or soul inside them. And the demon, that's the last thing he wants to do is connect with God. So in a million years, you never want to go back to that living hell. So don't. Stop wasting your time. Because the problem is, they can't change. That's something you've got to understand. It's not possible. They're never going to be like a dog with wings and fly around. It's not. That's fantasy island. So you've got to stop that. Haven't you ever noticed how Jesus never healed demons? He just pulled them out of the people and cast them into the pigs or into the fiery pit of hell or whatever he cast them into. He didn't sit there and talk to them and say, "Hey, how you doing, man? Do you want a healing?" No, he didn't. And trust me, these beings are not your friends. They are your devoted and committed enemies, and they made that decision. They do not care. They will lie to you. They'll play. A lot of narcissists are called the nice guy, and they act all poor me and feel sorry for me. Oh, I'm sorry, and then they'll yell at you and get mad. And then when you go, well, what are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. They just constantly play this nice guy thing so they can continue to jerk you around. Don't fall for it. Leave. So again, there is an end game, and the end game is when you've learned your lesson, to not play their games, to not put up with it, to immediately walk and block and be done with them. Period. End of sentence. Oh, but Michael, I can help them. Oh God, give it up already. See, all you're doing is extending your suffering, and you will suffer tremendously. And here's what you haven't noticed. Every time the narcissist hoovers you, it gets worse and worse. The suffering, the pain afterwards is worse and worse each time. And it's going to continue to get worse until it either destroys you completely or you finally say, oh, I'm just done with this. And that's what God is waiting for. God's looking at you when in the hell are they going to get it? When are they going to finally pop out of this? And that's the whole point of this. You're supposed to learn your lesson. Speak up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Fight back. Say no. Walk away. Walk and block. And just be done with it. It's like you've got this wall to these kind of beings and entities and humans or non-humans, whatever you want to call them. It's like, no, I'm just not dealing with you anymore because I want to live my life. And then it's over. And I mean completely over. The difference would be like this. It's like you might be walking down the sidewalk or the store talking to an employee asking questions about a product or something, and it's almost like and you start feeling this funny feeling and you just walk away. See, the average person, because they weren't raised to constantly be nice to mean people, when someone's mean, rude, weird, creepy, they just walk away. It's like they're just, this is like, they automatically pick up on it and they walk away. And that was the whole goal for you, was for you to become like that too. So it was almost to the extent where you didn't even know it was a narcissist. You just got a weird vibe. You're like, yeah, whatever, and you walked away. Alright guys, hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Go ahead and click subscribe, click the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for listening. I hope this gave you a slightly different perspective on what you're dealing with.